Let's make my Bryony quilt pattern that uses only a layer cake. I am using Flower Garden by Lindsay Cole McCrae from Moda Fabrics. Now this is an older collection, but Lindsay does come up with newer collections that have this same amazing color palette. But anyways, let's get started. For each 42 count 10-inch square, you will cut one 2.5 inch by 10-inch strip and subcut it into 4 2.5 inch squares. And that's it. You'll just repeat this step for every single 42 count 10-inch square. Now once everything is cut, it is time to sew everything back together again. So first rotate all of your prints around to mix up everything, that way we create that scrappy look. Then we are going to sew all of our 2.5 inch squares together to form a 2.5 inch by 8.5 inch rectangle. Then you're going to take that rectangle and either place it on the top or the bottom, it doesn't matter where, just wherever you prefer, and sew it together. And then once it's sewn together, we are going to trim the excess off to form a 9.5 inch by 8.5 inch rectangle. And all you'll need to do is repeat these steps until you've made a total of 42 9.5 inch by 8.5 inch rectangles. Now since this is a decent amount of waste, save it because in my next video I will show you what you can do with it. But after all of your blocks are completed, it is time to lay everything out. So you will lay each block side by side. Then for your even rows, you'll just rotate them 180 degrees. That way your 2.5 inch squares will lay on the opposite side. And here's what my Bryony quilt looks like all finished. One 42 count layer cake will yield you a 54-inch by 56-inch quilt. Two layer cakes in a 8 by 10 block layout will yield you a 72-inch by 80-inch quilt, just to give you a few more options. And today I am using the coordinating print from the collection for the backing. Then for the thread choice, I am going with Glide in the color Pistachio. And here's what my quilt looks like all quilted with one of my favorite edge-to-edge patterns, which I will have linked down below in the description. Also, if you would like me to quilt your quilt, I have opened up my Longarm quilting services, which I will have a link for the form down below in the description as well. And I do hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. If you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.